times in nursing school, I sent my gift card to the wrong email. So, as soon as she said hello, I'm like, yeah, I need to get this off control. Now you should know this attorney from his voice. The
We're live on you.
Oh.
Is that Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Hey, Patrick. We do not have your guy.
What's his name?
Baldwin last name.
There are some more coming through. Do you know who's on the second list?
You know what? I'm sorry. Let me wait a little bit because we have a second list.
There's 5 on the second list, and I think I remember that just coming through possibly.
And he possibly might be in the second list. So I'm sorry about this. So let me just give me a minute and I'll call you back.
Maybe, I don't know. I just remember seeing that warrant. It might not make the list, maybe. I thought I just seen it about to get signed. Who knows? Busy. Busy. All right. Good afternoon, Council. Both of you.
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
Well, thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good. Haven't seen you in a while.
No, it's good to see you. Who do you have?
I have Cameron Williams.
Okay, we'll try to call that gentleman first.
Okay.
DDC's connection's busy. I think that they're interviewing in the other room. Let me have them get off and we'll try to bring Mr. Williams up front. You have her P number, Father?
Yes, I have his appearance.
Okay, great. Just 1 second, Counselor. They're getting off of the camera, and we'll call DDC as soon as we get a chance. Cameron.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for your patience. Do we have the file for Cameron Williams? I don't see it. No. Number 13. That's okay. They may have not brought the file, council. Madam Clerk's calling in the back to bring it back to us, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for your patience. They bringing it?
Molly is just passing it to Marcia, so it wasn't given to us yet. So I told her, as soon as Marcia gets it, to bring it in.
Counselor, they're just now finalizing the file. It could be 10 minutes or so. Do you want us to call you back and we'll have officer call you back to zoom in, or do you just want to hold tight? It's whatever's easiest for you.
I'll hang tight for a while. And if you don't see me, you'll see Mr. Up.
Okay. All right. Thank you, counsel. We'll call the matter as soon as they bring the file in.
Okay.
Thanks. Who's the other attorney on here? Patrick, somebody?
Oh, the only one he got the Baldwin. Deontay Baldwin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one we're checking on.
Yeah, Judge, I just zoomed in because it'd be just as easy for me to zoom in. So I just zoomed in and I'm waiting, so no rush.
Okay, and who are you on?
Dante Baldwin.
Okay, we're seeing if it's on. Madam Clerk's calling right now.
Okay,
Baldwin.
thank you so much.
Yep, hold tight. You're welcome.
Karen's asking who's signing now that you're on the.
Millicent. It was submitted.
He's one of the ones that.
Right, that's what I
hasn't been
thought.
signed.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on the second page.
Okay. It appears that he's possibly making the second page. The information is currently being reviewed as we speak. So as soon as we get a. Do you want to stay on, or do you want us to call you? We can have my court officer call you and let you know, so you don't have to wait, or do you want to just wait?
She can call me. I would really appreciate that.
Okay. You're welcome. Does she have your phone number, I believe?
Yes, she does.
Yes, you do? Okay, great. Okay, so we'll call you one way or the other. Probably hopefully before 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you so much, Judge. And thank you so much,
Welcome.
Officer Love and the clerk.
She says you're welcome. Thank you. And that was on Baldwin. Then you have his P number, it's right here.
But look, it's on the screen.
I see it, yeah, it's on my screen too.
Yeah, I just.
Good job, Patrick.
Yeah.
Do you know who the retired cases are?
Yep. Number 13, Cameron Williams. And then Baldwin, who's not on the list yet.
He's gonna be on the second page.
Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Bring them top down if that's your pleasure. No final list. So let's get that out the way. Clear the air right now while we can.
I'm trying to call you a little early. Back to our script so we can get something we can't even.
I knew that was gonna happen, right? Oh, would you like apple cider or anything? Okay. Yeah, that's what I tried to hurry up. Hurry up and wait.
Because when she said, she was like 2 pages, I'm like, let me see if you want to
Started.
get started. Like right now, at least get something.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The longer you work today, the more inclined you are to get headaches. That's what work does to people. Causes illnesses. We never heard nothing new back from Division 1. Good afternoon, sir. Your name, please.
Marzette Murray.
Good afternoon, Mr. Murray. You're here for case number 200-45248, People State of Michigan versus Marzette Murray, also known as Marzette Antonio Murray, counselor.
Yes, I'm Brandon Bird on behalf of Marzette Murray. My client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and to stand mute.
Court will waive formal reading the information under a plea of not guilty. Court scheduling a probable or a pretrial date, Mr. Murray, that you must attend on Wednesday, August 19th. That's at 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Garrett, which will be heard via Zoom, Mr. Murray. That's an off-site streaming technology, which you'll get information before you're released on how to connect. But that's your responsibility to connect for that Zoom hearing on August 19th, 8:30, understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as the bond.
As the bond, Your Honor, my client indicates to us that he's a 54-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. My client also indicates to us that he has no prior record, Your Honor. He understands no contact with the claimant witness. Understandably, it is an assault of allegations, but it is a misdemeanor. We respect the witness for personal bond.
Thank you. And employment? I apologize.
I'm sorry, he works at Cone Inn.
Thank you. Mr. Murray, this is a very serious assaultive allegation. The court takes consideration of lack of capious history, lack of criminal convictions or allegations of assault, current epidemic facing the nation. You have ties to the community. Given the information, thank you, provided by your attorney as well as contained in the investigator's report, given the current epidemic facing our nation. During this bond, sir, you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and you're not to go back to the area or premises of 20006 Anglin Street, Detroit, Michigan. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And counsel, we're ready on Cameron Williams, if you want to call that attorney back, Officer Love, on Cameron Williams. Yep. And also during this bond, you are not to have no contact with Janine Wright. No contact means no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third person, at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Mr. Murray, the court's inclined to release you on a personal bond, sir. You have no issues with abiding by these court orders. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Given the information
Yes, sir.
placed on the record. Excuse me? The bond is set $10,000 personal bond. Mr. Murray, you're going to be released on a personal bond. Follow the court's orders. Good luck. Good afternoon, counsel. You're welcome. Who do you have, sir?
Your Honor, I'm here on Cameron Williams.
Thank you. Officer DDC, could you bring out number 13, Cameron Williams? We have an attorney present. Thank you.
Thanks for your name, sir.
Cameron Williams.
Good afternoon, Cameron Williams. This is case number 2005931, People State of Michigan versus Cameron Jacob Williams, counselor.
For the record, Your Honor, Randall Upshaw on behalf of Mr. Williams, we waive the formal reading, stand mute to the charge.
Thank you. Before waive formal reading under a plea of not guilty and schedule a probable cause conference, Mr. Williams, that you must attend on Wednesday, August 19th. That's 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge King. That matter, Mr. Williams and counsel, will be heard via Zoom. Counsel, I believe, is aware on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect via Zoom, Mr. Williams. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as the bond, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Williams has no prior record, no prior arrest. He attended Western Michigan University for a year and a half. He's been currently employed. He's been employed for the last 1 year and 4 months at the Spin Scooter Company. He's a team leader. He has a good record. He works over 40 hours a week. There's no history of violence, KPS, or anything of that nature, Your Honor. I think the guidelines would be 0 to 6, so I would ask for a personal bond if the court would consider.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Williams, as always, your counsel has advocated well for you, sir. This is a very serious felony allegation. It's important that you listen to the court as well as counsel showing up for your court date. And during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Is that understood, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Given the current epidemic facing the nation, your ties to the community, information provided by counsel, lack of capious history or criminal convictions, bond is set $5,000 personal bond. You're being released, Mr. Williams. No weapons. Make sure to make your court date. Good luck, counselor.
And thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Williams. Thank you, DDC. Appreciate you. Good afternoon, Abdul Zarak Al-Arashi. You are here for case number 20059-019, People State of Michigan versus Abdul Zarak Muhammad Al-Arashi, also known as Al-Arashi Abdullah Al-Arak Muhammad Al-Arashi Al-Abdullah Zalarak Al-Arashi Al-Abdullah Zalarak Al-Arashi Al-Azubda Zalarak Muhammad Al-Arashi Abdullah Razak Muhammad Al-Arashi Abdullah Al-Zarak Muhammad. Counselor.
Yes, Your Honor. Transferred on behalf of Abdul Razak Al-Arashi. My client waives his right to the formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and will stand with it.
Thank you. Court will waive formal reading of the information and plea of not guilty. Mr. Al-Arashi, you have a court date scheduled that you must attend, probable cause conference on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday. That's at 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Giles. That hearing will be held via Zoom. Mr. Al-Arashi, that's an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information from the officers at DDC on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Is that understood, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I know how to use it.
Okay, thank you. Not guilty is entered as the bond.
At the bond, Your Honor, my client indicates to us that he's a 24-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also indicates to us that he has no prior convictions, Your Honor. He does have some college, he works at a gas station, and this is a non-assault allegation, Your Honor. Respectfully, ask this court for a personal bond.
Thank you. This is non-assault. If the court takes into consideration your ties to the community, current epidemic facing the nation, lack of capious history or criminal convictions, this is a very serious allegation, sir. During this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapons. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given information provided, investigators report as well as counsel. Bond on this matter set $3,500 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, sir. Make sure and make that Zoom hearing date. No weapons. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
State's full name, leave matter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Darby. You're here for case number. Thank you. 20059-028, People State of Michigan versus Daniel Darby, counselor.
Yes, Your Honor. Transferred on behalf of Daniel Darby, my client waives his right to the formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
For a waive formal reading of the information under a plea of not guilty. And schedule a probable cause conference, Mr. Darby. You must attend on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge King. Mr. Darby, that August 19th hearing date will be held via Zoom. Sir, that's an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information from the officers before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty is entered. That's the bond.
That's the bond, Your Honor. My client is a 19-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. My client also indicates to us that he has no prior criminal history at all. Unfortunately, right now, my client's unemployed, Your Honor, due to the coronavirus. And I understand one of the allegations could be considered is be considered assault, but the underlying allegation is, that is non-assault. We respectfully ask this court for personal bond.
Thank you. Mr. Darby, the court takes consideration your information provided by your attorney, the serious nature of these allegations, as well as the life of KP's history of criminal convictions. It appears you have ties to the community. You're unemployed, which the court takes into consideration as it relates to your ability to post bond, as well as the current epidemic facing the nation, and the allegations set forth in the investigator's report, which concern the court, where it's alleged, sir, that you, upon being approached by officers, you allegedly fled on foot, giving chase and ignoring verbal commands to stop running from the officers, and that's concerning to the court. The court's inclined to release you on a personal bond, Mr. Darby. During this bond, sir, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapons. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And based on the information investigators report and placed on the record, before you're released, you're to be fit with the GPS tether. For the reason stated, bond set $10,000 personal bond. Good luck, Mr. Darby. You're welcome, counsel. Make sure and attend that court hearing via Zoom. Good luck.
Pull your mask up, stay still in there. Mask up? Yes, sir. Stay still.
Your full names?
Craig Anderson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. You're here for case number 200-59027. People's State of Michigan versus Craig Anderson, also known as Craig Eric Anderson, Craig Eric Anderson Jr., Craig E. Anderson, counselor.
Yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird, on behalf of Craig Anderson, my client waives his right to perform his wages, understands his constitutional rights, so will stand immunity.
Thank you, sir. Court will waive formal reading of the information. Mr. Anderson entered a plea of not guilty. Schedule 2 court dates, sir, that you must attend them both. A probable cause conference on Thursday, August the 6th. You have a right to a preliminary examination the following Wednesday, August the 12th. Both 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Archer. Both court hearings, Mr. Anderson, will be heard via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. Before you're released, if able to make bond, you'll get information on how to connect via Zoom on those court dates. But that's your responsibility to connect on time. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty. Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to the bond.
Bond, Your Honor, my client's a 42-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He has 1 year of college, went to Detroit Jackson High School, lives with his girlfriend, Your Honor. Understand, there are assault allegations and serious allegations, Your Honor. Respectfully ask this court potentially for a high personal bond or a reasonable 10% bond by the court.
Does your client need medical attention?
Sorry, he works
Yes.
at Detroit Jackson, Your Honor.
Oh, I apologize. Medical attention. It appears yes, and reading in a report, it appears he possibly could, and he's indicating yes about a head shake. Officer, please mark his file medical. Thank you.
Yeah.
The court is concerned regarding not only the serious assaultive nature of these allegations, but also your prior criminal felony convictions, which includes convictions for bank robbery, conviction for armed robbery, as well as other felony convictions concerning to the court. The allegations set forth are assaultive allegations. The court takes consideration your employment status as relates to ability to post bond, current epidemic facing the nation. You have ties to the community. Court's unaware of any KPS history. Alleged in the investigator's report are very serious allegations indicating you allegedly shot the victim. You shot the victim, believed that you had shot him because he seen blood on his leg and you allegedly put another magazine into the weapon and proceeded to assault the individual furthermore by hitting the individual on the top of the head. The court takes into consideration these are allegations and the information that's placed on the record. During this bond, Mr. Anderson, you are not to purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon, not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and absolutely no contact with Dion Reed. No contact means no contact of any kind. No contact orally, in writing, through a third person at his place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. Is that understood?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And based on the information and the investigator's report placed on the record, if you're able to make bond, you're to be fit with the GPS tether. Given the concerns the court has, your prior criminal record, the serious nature of these allegations, bond will be set $175,000 cash surety. Good luck, Mr. Anderson.
175,000. Not the Lord.
Nope.
I don't have no money, Your Honor.
The court took in consideration the employment status as stated by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond. The concerns the court has are lengthy and has been placed on the record. The serious nature of these allegations, your prior felony convictions, the information investigators report, and for those reasons, Mr. Anderson, the court took into consideration, as stated, your employment status, and the bond is set appropriately for the concerns the court has regarding the safety of the public, as well as the concerns the court has regarding your intention to return, given the serious nature of these allegations.
I would gladly, my criminal record had been over 20 years ago. I'm not a menace, and I didn't cause. I don't even remember how that was even a weapon to fall.
Mr. Anderson, this is the attorney speaking, Brandon Bird. The next attorney that's going to be with you the rest of the way is going to have a chance to argue your bond down at your next hearing. But currently right now, this is the ruling that the magistrate gave.
And Mr. Anderson, I see at least 3 felony convictions within the last 12 years. So, and then I see some over 20 years. So you have lengthy prior felony convictions, and the court's concerned for the reasons placed on the record. Anything further, counsel?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right, good luck, Mr. Anderson. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Frank.
Frank Saxton.
Frank Dale Saxton.
Frank Dale Saxton. Good afternoon, sir. You're here for case number 200590026, People State of Michigan versus Frank Dale Saxton. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Frank Saxton. I find ways right to form the reading, understand his constitutional rights, and stand mute.
For a way formal reading of the information in her plea of not guilty. We'll get to the court date in a moment as to the bond.
That's the bond, Your Honor. My client is 36, indicates that he's a 37-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. My client also indicates that he has no prior assault convictions, Your Honor. From the information, it seems that my client, his last conviction was 8 years ago, Your Honor. He does have a lifetime disability. He had 2 brain surgeries. But he's also a high school grad. These are non-assault allegations, Your Honor. We respectfully ask this court for a personal bond.
Thank you, Mr. Saxton. These, though as stated by counsel, are non-assault of Mr. Saxton. They're very serious felony allegations. Very important that you make your court date, sir, so you don't get locked up for not showing up to court. Understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the court's inclined to release you on a personal bond. You have a hearing, probable cause conference on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Jones. That matter will be held via Zoom, Mr. Saxton, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information from the officers before you're released on how to connect for that Zoom hearing, but that's your responsibility, understood? And during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
And no use of alcohol, no marijuana, and no illegal controlled substance. Court takes into consideration your ties to the community, current epidemic facing the nation, serious but non-assaultive allegations, prior felony criminal history, as well as your employment status as it relates to ability to post bond. For those reasons, bond is $18,000 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, Mr. Saxton. Make sure and listen to the court, sir. Good luck. No weapons, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Saxton. Can we do Davis this morning? Is this another one? Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
Well, we seen you this morning, correct, Mr. Havis?
Yes, indeed, Your Honor.
Shake the mask off.
Your full name, please.
Demetrius Hayes.
Thank you, and good afternoon. You're here for case number 2005925, People State of Michigan versus Jerome Demetrius Havis, also known as Jerome Havis. Counselor.
Hey, Your Honor, good afternoon. Grade B57156. On behalf of Mr. Jerome Davis, waiting for you to stand use of paper as required of the
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Scheduling 2 court dates, Mr. Havis, that you must attend. Probable cause conference, Wednesday, August the 5th. You have a right to a preliminary examination the following Monday, August 10th. Both 8:30 a.m. 36th District Court in front of Judge Jones. Both matters, August 5th and 10th, will be heard via Zoom, Mr. Havis, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information from the officer before release, if able to make bond, on how to connect, but that's your responsibility. Not guilty is entered as the bond.
As a bond, Your Honor, Judge, the plaintiff witness in this case is the same person that was in the case originally this morning, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Havis' attorney, Michael Portman, who said he would be detained in on these matters in the future, so that would assure that Mr. Havis return to court, would get here, make all his Zoom conferences. Mr. Portman is going to be represented, is my understanding. Now, obviously, the court has already instructed Mr. Havis to have absolutely no contact with Ms. Watts. Even though Ms. Watts is actually living at Mr. Havis' house, he still understands.
At her residency?
I'm sorry?
It's living at her residency?
Well, if one, that's his house, Judge, but I mean,
But if she's living there, that would be her residency.
That's a very good point. Your Honor, but he understands, Your Honor, not to have any contact with her. I do understand that the allegations are assault with domestic violence in this particular case that happened 11 days ago. Again, my client's going to retain counsel. He is on disability, Your Honor. He has some injuries. He was struck by a vehicle. Your Honor, so it seems like he has, I believe, just one prior felony conviction in 2008. So for the last, 12 years or more, Judge, Mr. Havis hasn't gotten in any trouble, hasn't had any problem with the law. Unfortunately, the relationship with this young lady, Your Honor, hadn't gone right. And with big allegations, Judge, and it's strange, Judge, that this young lady lives in his house or lives in her house, makes an allegation of armed robbery, Judge. I just find it a little bit hard to believe. I do understand the domestic violence aspect of it because I do know how relationships work. They get hostile sometimes. That's not to condone anything, but I just want to make it clear that Mr. Havis is pleading not guilty. He says nothing happened. He did not do anything to this woman. She's making all this up. And I just want to let the court know that's the purpose of mine.
And I appreciate, Mr. Havis, your counsel, as always, has advocated it very well for you. The court takes consideration all the information provided by counsel. Court has concerns. These are serious charges. The court takes consideration the epidemic facing our nation, your employment status as stated by counsel relates to ability to post bond, your prior conviction, which noted was 12 years ago, but was for conviction of armed robbery, which is very serious. The court takes consideration the allegations in the investigator's report. It's alleged, sir, that you allegedly attacked the victim, punching her in the back of the head. The victim attempted to flee and you followed, picking up a barbecue grill and hitting the individual allegedly with it. Where you allegedly fled the location where officers attempted to activate overhead lights where you allegedly continue to drive at a high rate of speed, disregarding stop signs and fleeing the officers were to a point at such a high rate of speed that they lost sight of your vehicle. And that's something the court takes into consideration, given the information provided by counsel, and then the allegations that upon an investigation that you attempted to flee at such a high rate of speed that the officers lost sight is very concerning to the court. And
Your Honor,
the court also...
Your Honor, she maced me so much I had a seizure and I had to go to the hospital.
Please mark his file medical.
She maced me. I had a seizure and went to the hospital. She maced me on my mouth and nose while we were talking.
Hold on, Mr. Davis, I do understand. Mr. Davis, I do understand, possible, try to get to the hospital, if the inmates judge, that's probably upset him, may have been driving a little excessive, trying to get to the hospital. I can understand that, Judge. If I was placed, I'd probably do the same thing. But I'm glad you just said those few words. He's not going to say anything else, Judge. And Your Honor, go ahead and continue.
Right. And Mr. Havis, if you're going to the hospital, there's no excuse to disregard rules and place other people in danger. If you're having a medical emergency, sir, pull over. If there's officers behind you, let somebody assist you. You are not to be driving at such a high rate of speed and disregarding traffic. These are just allegations, but Mr. Havis, during this bond, based on what you're telling the court, there's absolutely no driving. Do you understand? You are not to drive a vehicle. No driving. And you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Do not go to the area or premises of 20526 Steel, Detroit, Michigan. Is that all understood?
Yeah.
And no contact with Leangelina Watts, and that means no contact of any kind, orally or in writing, through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact. And if you're able to make bond, you're to be fit with the GPS tether, given the concerns the court has regarding the fleeing as well as the safety of Ms. Watts. For the reasons stated, bond on this matter is $10,000, 10%. You're welcome. Good luck, Mr. Havis.
Michael Antonio Fields.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fields.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. You're here for case number 2005930, People State of Michigan versus Michael Antonio Fields, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon, on behalf of Michael Fields, my client waives his right to formal readings, understand his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Thank you. Court will waive formal reading of the information, enter a plea of not guilty. Good to see you, sir. The court will schedule a probable cause conference, Mr. Fields, that you must attend on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday. That's at 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Archer. Mr. Fields, that August the 19th date will be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information from the officers at DDC before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Not guilty is entered as to the vote.
That's fine, Your Honor. My client indicates that he's 56-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. Okay. He works at American Jetway Corporation. Been doing that for 5 years now. This is a serious application, non-assault, Your Honor, and especially as this court for a personal bond.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. This is a very serious charge, so you have to listen to the court and make sure and make that hearing so you don't get locked up for not listening. That makes sense, correct?
Yes, sir.
During this bond, Mr. Fields, there's no use of alcohol, no marijuana, and no illegal controlled substance. And you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that all understood?
Yes, sir, it is.
Take into consideration the epidemic facing the nation, information provided by counsel, the ties to the community, your employment status as it relates to ability to post bond. You have a very serious prior felony convictions, which include a number of concerning charges, but the court is unaware of any capious history on those allegations. Those allegations are over 20 years old. Mr. Fields, the court's inclined to release you on a personal bond. You have no problem following all the court's orders and attending that court hearing on time, is that correct?
I will be there, sir.
Okay, and it's on Zoom, Mr. Fields, and bond for the reason stated, $12,000 personal bond. Do not purchase or possess any firearms or weapons, and absolutely no any form of drugs, narcotics, or alcohol. Is that all understood?
Yes, sir. And again, that date is August 19th.
Thank you for your attention. That's absolutely correct. And you'll get all that information before you're released. Make sure and follow through, Mr. Fields, with everything the court's ordering so you don't get locked up just for not listening.
I hear you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Mr. Fields.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
That again? Sorry, Claudia. Good afternoon, Mr. White. We have both defendants. Do you want to do them together, counsel, or separate? It's up to you. Officer, would you mind bringing both gentlemen together, or do you want to do them separate? However is easiest for you guys. Thank you, officer. I appreciate that, sir. Okay. Mr. White, a small step to your left, sir. There you go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Right there. Looking good. Hold tight so Mr. George comes in and we'll handle these matters.
Can we do them separately so we can continue moving? We're trying to locate one.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all. We can do them separate. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Tommy White.
Thank you, Mr. White. You're for case number 200599029, People State of Michigan versus Tommy White, identified in the complaint as Defendant 1, also known as Tommy White Jr. Counselor.
Yes, Your Honor, we need, I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor, my client waives his right, Brandenburg on behalf of Tommy White, my client waives his right to the formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and stand mute.
Thank you. Court will waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. White, the court is scheduling a probable cause conference on Wednesday, August 19th, that you must attend, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Jones. Mr. White, that will be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Understood? Do you understand, Mr. White? You have a hearing via Zoom that you have to connect on the 19th of August. Is that clear?
Yes.
Not guilty is entered as of the bond.
Your Honor, my client indicates that he is a 58-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also indicates that he has no prior assault convictions, Your Honor. He does do odd jobs for cleaning up, and it's a non-assault allegation. Those series is non-assault, Your Honor. We respectfully ask this court for a versatile bond.
Thank you, Mr. White. Mr. White, this is a very serious allegation. It's non-assaultive. You have a criminal history the court's concerned with. Taking into consideration the epidemic facing the nation, the serious nature of these allegations, which are non-assaultive. You have ties to the community. Court's unaware of any capious history, given the employment status as relates to ability to post bond, as well as, thank you, appreciate you, the current epidemic facing the nation. You're going to be released on a personal bond, Mr. White. You have to listen to the court. During this bond, sir, no use of alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal controlled substance. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Bond is set for the reason stated, $11,000 personal bond. Good luck, Mr. White. Listen to the court.
Thanks, man.
Welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Andrew Lee George.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew Lee George. You're here for 2005929, People State of Michigan versus Andrew Lee George, also known as Andrew Glover, identified in the complaint as defendant 2, Sam Lee Glover, and also known as Andrew George, Sam Glover, Andrew L. George, Jeffrey Williams. Counsel.
Yes, now, the present verdict on behalf of Andrew George. Andrew George, my client waives his right to perform a reading and understands his constitutional right to stand mute.
Thank you. Mr. George, court's waiving formal reading information and a plea of not guilty, sir, scheduling a court date that you must attend on Wednesday, August the 19th. That's 8:30 a.m. at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Jones. Mr. George, that matter is going to be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology. Before you're released, the officers will give you information on how to connect to that Zoom hearing. Mr. George, that's your responsibility to connect on time, August 19th at 8:30. Is that understood, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to the bond.
At the time, Your Honor, my client indicates that he's a 58-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also indicates that he has no prior assault with criminal history, Your Honor. As to the information, it seems that this last case was in 1998, Your Honor. Over 20 years old. He owns his own hotel company, graduated from Detroit High School, Northeastern. And does unfortunately does suffer from COPD in his lungs. This is a non-assaultive allegation. He does have underlying illnesses that may be affected by COVID-19. And he respectfully asks this court for a personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. George, the court listened to your advocacy of your counsel and is inclined to release you on a personal bond. You have to listen to the court, Mr. George. While you're on bond, you are not to use any alcohol, no marijuana, and no illegal controlled substance. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Court takes consideration lack of capious history, your criminal convictions, information provided by counsel, ties to the community, epidemic facing the nation, allegations which are serious but non-assaultive, as well as the information investigators report, and the employment status as it relates to ability to post bond. For those reasons, bond is $11,000 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, Mr. George. Listen to the court's orders. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Mm-hmm. Thank you. How are you? Good. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Darwin Holcomb.
Good afternoon, Mr. Holcomb. We're both having a little problems with our masks. You good, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. You're here for case number 200-45250, People State of Michigan versus Darwin Kyoto Holcomb, also known as Donovan Kelton Holcomb, Donovan Brown, Darwin Holcomb, Darwin Kelton Holcomb, Darwin Kilton Holcomb, Darwin Kellyan Holcomb, Darwin K. Holcomb, Donovan Holcomb, Donovan Kelton Holcomb, Donovan Kelton Holcomb with an A. Count.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Brothers on behalf of Darwin Holcomb, my client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and stand mute.
Thank you. The court will waive formal reading of the information under a plea of not guilty, Mr. Holcomb, and schedule a pre-trial date, sir, that you must attend Wednesday, August the 19th. That's at 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant. Mr. Holcomb, that matter is going to be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information before you're released on how to connect for that hearing, but it's your responsibility to connect. And you must connect on time, 8:30 a.m., Mr. Holcomb. If you're late, some judges won't hear the matter when you're late, so you have to be on time. Does that all make sense? That's your responsibility, sir.
Makes a lot of sense.
What was that?
It makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Mr. Holcomb. Not guilty, please enter, sir, as to the bond, Counselor.
Your Honor, my client indicates that he's a 52-year-old lifetime resident. Nelson indicates that he has no prior assault conviction. Your Honor. This is a misdemeanor for largely less than $200. Your Honor. Understand, we beg this court for personal file.
Thank you. This is a very serious charge, Mr. Holcomb, but it is non-assaultive. The court takes consideration. You have ties to the community, lack of criminal convictions or capious history. Current epidemic facing the nation, employment status stated as it relates to ability to post bond. Mr. Holcomb, during this bond, you're not to go to the premises or area of 1057 Grand River, Detroit, Michigan. Is that understood? Thank you. And the court's inclined to release you on a personal bond. You don't have to post any money. Make sure and attend that court hearing on time. And given the serious nature of this allegation, lack of criminal convictions or capious history, bond is set $5,500 personal bond. You're being released, Mr. Holcomb, on a personal bond. Don't go to that area during this bond, sir. And make sure to make your court hearing on time. Good luck.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Jeffrey Smith.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Smith. 1 second, sir. Mr. Smith, you're here for case number 200593032, People State of Michigan versus Jeffrey Lynn Smith, Counselor.
Yes, sir. I'm Brandon Bird on behalf of Jeffrey Smith. My client waives his right to the formal reading, understands his constitutional right. Understand mute.
Or waive formal reading the information. Mr. Smith, the court is entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf and scheduling a probable cause conference that you must attend on Wednesday, August the 19th. That's 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Giles. Mr. Smith, that August 19th date will be heard via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information before you release on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Does that make sense? Understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to bond.
As a bond, Your Honor, my client
World's greatest
indicates
what?
that he's a 31-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. My client also indicates that he has no prior criminal history, Your Honor. He does work at FedEx, lives with his grandmother, and that he takes care of, Your Honor. This is a non-assaultive allegation, and we respectfully ask this court for a personal bond.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, this is a very serious felony allegation, sir. It's important that you listen to the court so you don't get locked up for not listening, and the court is one of the things, not only make your court date, but you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
The court's unaware of any capious history or criminal convictions or allegations of assault given the current epidemic facing the nation, the serious nature of this allegation, employment status as it relates to ability to post bond, lack of convictions or criminal history. Your bond is set $10,000 personal bond. You're going to be released, Mr. Smith, no weapons, and make sure to make your court date. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, what are you the world's greatest? What's your shirt say? What are you the world's greatest?
Yeah.
Good luck. No. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Smith. Good luck with your family. I hope everything works out. Make sure and make this court date, sir. Good luck.
No problem. Step back in the room. Black line, put your mask all the way on. Thanks for the name.
Good afternoon, your name?
Sammy Jones.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. Say Sammy Jones, sir?
Yes, Sammy Jones.
We don't. I apologize, DDC. We don't have that gentleman's file prepared yet. Sorry.
Step back in the room. State your full name, put the mask on.
Your full name, please.
Hell, Everett Latour Jr.
Oh man, what was his name?
Danielle Everett Latour Jr. Lanier, I'm 15.
Lanier, Darnell Lanier.
Danielle.
Yep. I don't. We don't have that one either, officer. We have. I could tell you who we have. I don't know. I didn't know we were missing so many. We do have, and Madam Clerk's calling back, I guess, to see. We have Gregory Morse, number 18. We have Michael Ruff, James Flanagan, number 16. Antonio Green, 17, and Deontay Jones. So it appears we have 16, 17, 18, and 19, and a Michael Ruff. That's the ones we got ready.
We don't have Morris ready now.
Council has not interviewed Gregory Morris yet.
He's being interviewed as we speak, Your Honor. Great.
Perfect. You guys are on it. Thank you, officer. Thank you, sir.
You go off the second page yet?
No.
Trump is on the second page. State your full name.
Good afternoon. Your name, please.
James Cornelius Flanagan.
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. You're here for case number 200455252, People State of Michigan versus James Flanagan, also known as James Flanagan, James Cornelius Flanagan. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of James Flanagan. My client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Court waive formal reading of the information and our plea of not guilty. We'll get to the court date in a moment as to the bond.
As the bond, Your Honor, my client indicates to us that he's a 39-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He indicates to us that he's self-employed, Your Honor. He lives with his kids and himself. Self-employed. I understand this is the second domestic violence, but I do would like to take notice that it's been 9 years since the first one. I'm not trying to excuse it, but it has been 9 years since the first one, Your Honor. He understands that he has had no contact with that Ashley Simon, and it is a sort of allegation, serious allegation, but it is a misdemeanor, Your Honor, and we respectfully ask this court for a personal bond.
Thank you, sir. Court will enter a plea of not guilty. Mr. Flanagan, the court is scheduling a pretrial date, sir. You must attend on August the 7th. And thank you, officer. We just got files for Sammy Jones and Darnell Lanier. And on this matter, Mr. Flanagan, the court scheduling a pretrial. You must attend August the 7th, which is a Friday. That's 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court. Thank you, in front of Judge Garrett. And that matter, Mr. Flanagan, is going to be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology, which you'll get information before you're released if able to make bond on how to connect. But that's your responsibility, understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. Not guilty is entered as to the bond. And anything further?
Yeah, this was James Flanagan?
Yes. Anything further as the bond?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Flanagan, the court is noting that you have a prior conviction as stated by counsel of a similar related matter, which is concerning, and the court notes the age of that matter. Very concerning, as this is a serious allegation. The court takes consideration you have ties to the community, the epidemic facing the nation, the employment status as stated relates to ability to post bond. The allegations, as well as the likelihood of conviction as alleged in the investigator's report, is indicated, sir, that an officer, upon investigation, observed you walk up to the victim and punch the individual in the head. Officer attempted to separate both of the individual and observed alleged the injuries to the victim, including the knot on the head, which was bleeding, scratches, and cuts on face and hands. And the court indicates that the victim was visibly in fear of the defendant, according to the officer. Court takes into consideration the information stated, your prior convictions, serious nature of this matter. During this bond, Mr. Flanagan, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Do not go back to the area or premises of 8295 Quinn Street, Detroit, Michigan, and absolutely no contact with Ashley Simon. No contact means no contact of any kind, orally and writing through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact. And if you're able to make bond, you're to be fit with the GPS tether. Do you have a question?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. You said don't go back to 8295. That's my residence. Ashley Simon do not live with me, sir. We do not have the same address.
Okay, given the information before, I apologize. The information before the court indicates that's her address. The 8295 Quinn is the address that is given for Ashley Simon.
No, she stayed in Clinton Township, sir. I live there. I totally own that house. Me and my 4 kids live there by myself, sir.
Has she ever lived there? I understand.
No,
I understand what you're saying.
No, she never lived in my residence, sir.
Okay. Well, the court is striking that condition, but I want to make this clear, Mr. Flanagan. You're not to go to her residency, wherever that may be. If you're not being honest with the court, if she does reside there, even if you own the house or whatever you're telling the court, whatever you made to believe to be true, if she resides at that location, you're not to go to her residency. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as stated, for the reasons and the likelihood of conviction, you're to be fit with the GPS tether and given your prior convictions. For the information stated, the concerns the court has, bond on this matter set $4,010%. That's $400 bond, Mr. Flanagan. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, your name?
Sammy Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, you're here for case number 2005934, People State of Michigan versus Sammy Lee Jones. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. In Brandenburg, we have Sammy Jones. My client waives the right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Court will waive formal reading of the information under a plea of not guilty. We'll get to the court date in a moment as to the bond.
My client says that he's a 53-year-old lifetime resident. He does have no prior assault conviction, Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now. He takes care of his sick wife, Your Honor. He is on a lot of medication right now, including back, high blood pressure, asthma, and arthritis, Your Honor. Understandably, I understand this is his third DUI. Both of DUI, Your Honor. But it is a non-assault allegation, and respectfully, he does need to take care of his sick wife.
He's had at least 3 prior I see 4 prior convictions. This would be a 5th. I know it's charged as a 3rd, but I see 4 prior convictions at least. Is that what you see, counsel?
You give me one moment.
Take your time. Well, I see conviction on or about June 25th, 2002. Conviction August 17th, 2007. Conviction July 20th, 2007. July 23rd, 2010. September 14th, 2010. That's 5 convictions. This could possibly be a 6th.
I do see that it is more convictions against our client, Young, and now, if I'm not mistaken, his last conviction was 6 years ago.
Thank you.
We still doesn't make this allegation any better, but it is a non-assault allegation, though very serious. And it has been 10 years since the last conviction. We respectfully ask this court for a personal bond.
Thank you. The court will enter a plea of not guilty, Mr. Jones, and schedule 2 court dates, sir, that you must attend them both. A probable cause conference on Wednesday, August the 5th. You have a right to a preliminary examination the following Tuesday, August the 11th. Both 8:30 a.m. 36th District Court in front of Judge King. Mr. Jones, those hearings will be held via Zoom. which is an off-site streaming technology. If you make bond, you will get that information on how to connect before you're released, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Anything further, Esteban?
No, Your Honor.
Now, you have ties to the community, lack of employment status as stated by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond. As stated, very concerning as your number of convictions for a similar related offense. That brings this allegation to a felony. During this bond, there's absolutely no use of alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal controlled substance, and you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Is that all clear?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely no drinking and absolutely no driving, period. Is that understood, Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you're able to make bond, you're to be fit with an alcohol tether prior to being released. Given the information stated on the record of your prior convictions, concerns the court has regarding the safety of the public, bond on this matter, an epidemic facing the nation will be set 2,510%.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. That's $250, Mr. Jones. No drinking, sir, and make sure and make that court date, and no driving, period. You drink or you drive, it's a violation of the bond, and you're likely to get locked up just for not listening. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Mr. Jones. I hope it works out well for you, sir.
Mr. Lanier.
Janelle Everett Lanier Jr.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lanier Jr. You're here for case number 200-59033, People State of Michigan versus Darnell Everett Lanier.
Yes, Your Honor. Transferred on behalf of Lanier, my client waives right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and stands here.
Court waive formal reading of the information, enter a plea of not guilty. Mr. Lanier, the court is scheduling a probable cause conference, sir, that you must attend on Wednesday, August the 19th, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Giles. That hearing, Mr. Lanier, will be held via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information on how to connect for that court date before you're released, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. Not guilty's entered. That's the bond.
My client in the case does that he's a 25-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also in the case does that he has no prior criminal history at all, Your Honor. He's a high school graduate of Detroit Cody High School. He works with the Wayne City Road Commission. These are serious allegations, Your Honor, and they are not assault, and we expect to support for personal bond.
Thank you, Mr. Lanier. The court takes consideration information provided by our counsel, ties to the community. You have no criminal history or capious history the court's aware of. These are very serious charges, but non-assaultive. Given the epidemic facing the nation, employment status as relates to ability to post bond, as well as allegations set forth in the investigator's report. Bond is $10,000 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, Ms. Lanier, and during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Do you understand? Good luck, Mr. Lanier. Listen to the court, sir.
Three.
Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Antonio Green.
Good afternoon, Mr. Green. One moment, your attorney's on their way back in, sir. You're here for case number 200-45251, People State of Michigan versus Antonio Amgaro Green, also known as Antonio Omega Green. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Antonio Green. My client waives right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and stand here.
Court waive formal reading and her plea of not guilty. We'll get to the court date in a moment. Esteban.
Esteban, Your Honor. My client in the case is that he's a 55-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He owns his own barber shop, Your Honor. He lives alone, Your Honor. understand, well, he indicates that he lives alone, Your Honor. He understands that he has no contact at all, with the claim witness, Your Honor. I understand this is the second domestic violence offense. I would like to take into consideration that the first offense happened about 16 years ago. And we respectfully ask this court for a personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Green, that conviction in 2004, was that against Miss Yancy Cobb?
No, sir.
Thank you. That's all I need to know. Mr. Green, this is a very serious charge, sir, and it's an assaultive allegation. The court takes in consideration the information provided by your counsel. You have a court date, Mr. Green, that you must attend on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Garrett. Mr. Green, that matter will be heard via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information on how to connect before you're released, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Court takes consideration of current epidemic facing the nation, employment status as it relates to ability to post bond, your ties to the community, your prior criminal conviction, which was an assaultive conviction of a similar nature. During this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and not to go back to the area or premises of 20568 Goulburn Street, Detroit, Michigan. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And thank you. Absolutely no contact with Loretta Yancy Cobb. Thank you. And the court's inclined to release you on a personal bond. No contact means no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And given the court has concerns regarding that individual's safety, it's alleged that you began to chase the individual down the street, caught up to her, striking her 5 times in the fist with a closed fist with your right hand. Given the concerns the court has regarding her safety, you're going to be released on a personal bond. Prior to release, you're to be fit with the GPS tether. Given the lack of capious history, criminal convictions as stated, current epidemic facing the nation, bond is set $10,000 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, Mr. Green. No contact with Miss Nancy Cobb.
I won't let you down.
Thank you, Mr. Green. We're counting on you. Not to let you down. What's going on, my man? Good afternoon. Your name, please. Your name again?
Omar Brown.
No. We don't have that. Sorry, DDC. The 3 files that we do have are Gregory Morris, Michael Ruff, and Durante Jones. I think they're still bringing that one. I don't know how many they're left to bring. So we have Michael Ruff, Gregory Morris, and Durante Jones. We don't have your file ready, sir, so we'll call it as soon as we get it, Mr. Brown. Jones, Ruff, and Morris. Thank you, officers. I appreciate your accommodation. It's making things a lot smoother than it could be. Is it Durante Jones?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. You're for case number 200455253, People State of Michigan versus Durante Shaquille Jones, also known as Durante Jones. Counsel.
Driver, I don't have Mr. Durante Jones, we formal readings, and you, Mr. Jones, has been involved in this constitutional case.
Court waive formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty. Schedule a pretrial date, Mr. Jones, that you must attend on Wednesday, August the 19th, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Garrett, which will be held on that 19th via Zoom, Mr. Jones. That's an off-site streaming technology, which you'll get information on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to the bond.
As the bond, Your Honor, Mr. Jones is 24 years old, is a lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit, maintains that he has no prior criminal convictions whatsoever, has gainful employment, working on roofing, has a stable residence with his mother, and understands to have no contact with
Thank you. This is in his employment, I apologize.
No worries, Your Honor. He does construction or specifically roofing.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, the court takes into consideration, these are serious allegations and assaultive allegations. The court is unaware of any capious history or criminal convictions. Taking into consideration the advocacy provided by your counsel, the information alleged in the investigator's report, current epidemic facing the nation. Thank you. Thank you. As well as the ties to the community. We have 3 more files, Sykes, Brown, and Giovanni officers. Thank you. And given the information provided by counsel as alleged in the investigator's report, during this bond, Mr. Jones, you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and absolutely no contact with Paris Cherie Logan. And that means no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third person, at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. Is that understood, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Thank you. And the court's releasing you on a personal bond, and you have no problem following those court orders, staying away completely from Miss Logan. Is that correct?
Yes.
And no weapons, bond for the reasons stated, $10,000 personal bond. Good luck, Mr. Jones. Hope it works out, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Did you interview all these people too?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
10,000 person.
Your name, please?
Omar Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. And good afternoon. You're here for case number 20045-254, People State of Michigan versus Omar D. Brown. Counselor.
Right, Brown, have Mr. Omar Brown, wait for more readings, and if Mr. Brown has been advised of the constitutional rights.
Mr. Brown, court's waiving formal reading information under plea of not guilty, sir, scheduling a court date, a pretrial that you must attend on Wednesday, August the 19th. That's at 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Garrett. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Brown, that matter is going to be heard via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. It's not going to be at the physical building of 36th District Court. Before you're released, the officers will give you information on how to connect for that court hearing, but that's your responsibility to connect on time, understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty is under that.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown is 40 years old, part-time resident here in the city of Detroit. Maintains that he has no prior assaultive convictions whatsoever, as well as gainful employment. I believe he's self-employed working on cars. Maintains that he has full custody of his children, aged 11 and 7. We would ask the court to consider a personal bond here with no contact, which my client understands.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, this is a very serious assaultive allegation. The court's unaware of any capious history or criminal convictions or allegations of assault. You have ties to the community, it appears, given the information before the court, which takes into consideration the current epidemic facing the nation. Your employment status is stated by counsel as relates to ability to post bond, as well as the allegations set forth in the investigator's report, which alleged, sir, after an argument, you flicked a cigarette at an individual and hit him in the shoulder. So during this bond, you are not to have any contact with Stephanie Thompson, which means no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third person, at her residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact during this case or during the bond until told otherwise with Miss Stephanie Thompson. Is that understood, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
And you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and do not go back to the area or premises of where she resides. It indicates at 8068 Stalindy Street, Detroit, Michigan. Do not go back to that area or premises during this bond. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be released on a personal bond, Mr. Brown. You have no problem with any of those conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Given the information placed on the record, bond on this matter set in the amount $6,500 personal bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Brown. You're being released on a personal bond, no contact with Miss Thompson. Make sure to make your court date, sir. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Oh, Morse.
Good afternoon, your name, please.
My name is Gregory Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris, you're for case number 18056-909, People State of Michigan versus Gregory Morris, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Gregory Morris, applying wages rights to formal reading, understand constitutional rights, understand you.
Thank you. Court will waive formal reading of the information and her plea of not guilty. Mr. Morris, court scheduling a probable cause conference, sir, that you must attend on September the 30th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. That's at Frank Murphy Hall of Justice, 3rd Circuit Court in front of Judge Giles. Mr. Morris, that hearing will be via Zoom, and you'll get information before you're released on how to connect for that hearing, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Do you understand?
Understand.
Not guilty is entered as to the bond.
Mr. Tanya, what kind of indicates this? This is a 38-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. Indicates this that he has important service, Your Honor. This was 5 years ago, Your Honor, and I understand that it's very to pay child support, and usually is 25, they got to pay 25% of the arrears in order to find out. So we are in the middle of a pandemic right now, Your Honor, and we respectfully ask the court for a personal bond.
Court takes into consideration the current epidemic facing the nation, the ties to the community, lack of previous history of criminal convictions. The court's aware it's a very serious charge, but non-assaultive. As stated by counsel, the court is statutorily obligated to set bonding amount 25% of the alleged arrearages. Alleged arrearages is $37,699. 25% is $9,424, which the court has given a personal bond for the reasons stated. Mr. Morris, you're receiving a personal bond, sir. It's very important that you make that hearing date so you don't get locked up just for not showing up. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, sir.
Good luck, Mr. Morris. Make sure to make that hearing.
Thank you very much.
Welcome very much. You're welcome.
It's like,
baby. We never got that counsel's file, did we?
Don't take your mask off. Don't live.
Madam Clerk, we never got that other attorney's file, did we? We only got 2 mails left, and we had that one. What was the guy's name? The other file for the attorney? Yep. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
My name is David Sykes.
Thank you. Here for 200-59035, People State of Michigan versus Davion Marquise Sykes. Counselor.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Davion Sykes, my client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, understands you.
Court waive formal reading the information under plea of not guilty. Mr. Sykes, the court is scheduling a probable cause conference, sir. You must attend Wednesday, August the 19th, which is 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge King. Mr. Sykes, that August 19th date will be heard via Zoom. That's an off-site streaming technology, which you'll get information from the officer before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. You understand?
Yeah. You said
Excuse me?
August yes. You said August the 18th, 8:30?
The 19th, but I appreciate you asking the question. The 19th, which is Wednesday. And Mr. Sykes, you'll get this information in writing before you're released from the officers. It's your responsibility to show up on time, or else you're likely to get locked up just for not showing up that Zoom hearing. Understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes or no, Mr. Sykes? Thank you,
Yes.
counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. As the bond of my client indicates to us that he's a 23-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also indicates to us that he has no prior criminal history at all, Your Honor. He's in trade school right now, and unfortunately he's unemployed, though. This is a serious allegation of non-assault, and we respectfully have to go for a personal bond.
Thank you, counselor. Mr. Sykes, this is a very serious felony allegation. It is non-assaultive. The court takes consideration the lack of capious history or criminal conviction. lack of employment as stated by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond, current epidemic facing the nation, ties to the community. Mr. Sykes, during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Do you understand?
Yes.
Given the information placed on the record, bond is $10,000 personal bond. You're being released on a personal bond, Mr. Sykes, no weapons, and make sure and attend that Zoom hearing on the 19th, which is a Wednesday of August, in front of Judge King. Good luck, sir. Hope it works out for you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, John.
You only got 1 minute left.
No, there's two. Listen, 3 more.
3? I apologize. I meant only 1 file, unfortunately. Madam Clerk's calling for the other 2. Good afternoon, Mr. Ruff. Mr. Ruff, you're here for a couple of reasons, sir. We're going to get through them one at a time. Please listen closely. Did you have an opportunity to read, sign, and understand an advice of rights form today?
I don't think so.
That's okay. I'm going to read you your rights. If you have any questions, just ask the court. Sir, first, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney, have one present during questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
Your
you,
Honor.
Mr. Ruff. Thank you, Mr. Ruff. We're handling first a matter where you have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. So we have the Baldwin file officer. Thank you, Dante Baldwin. That's for both last 2 people, and that's for the attorney. Could you let him know, Officer Love? Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Ruff, this matter, you have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. Thank you, counsel, for your patience. Failing to appear at the 36th District Court, and a pretrial date will be scheduled, Mr. Ruff, August 28, 8:30, 36th District Court. That's a Friday in front of Judge Ford. That will be heard via Zoom. Mr. Ruff, you're going to be released on this matter on a personal bond. It's your responsibility to attend that Zoom hearing August 28th in front of Judge Ford, 36th District Court. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ruff, you're here for case number 184022941, July 17, 2018. Allegations, no operator's license in possession. Bond's $200 personal bond. This one charge is a misdemeanor charge, carries up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. Court will recall the warrant, set aside KP Center plea of not guilty on this matter. Mr. Ruff, as a reminder, your Zoom hearing is August the 28th, 8:30, 36th District Court in front of Judge Ford. You're also here, Mr. Ruff, for case number 1504626, People State of Michigan versus Michael Ruff, counsel. And then, officer, could we bring Dante Baldwin next? We have counsel prepared for that gentleman. Thank you. Go ahead, counsel. Apologize.
Now, Brennsburg, we have Michael Ruff, Brennsburg, we have Michael Ruff, client waives right to formal read and understand the constitutional rights.
Thank you. And the court waive formal reading and information there. Plea of not guilty on this matter, sir. The court's scheduling a pretrial date that you must attend August the 19th, Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Garrett, which will be heard via Zoom. As stated, Mr. Ruff, you will get information before you're released on how to connect for that hearing, but that's your responsibility. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to bond.
30-year lifetime resident, Your Honor. He also on the case says that he has no prior assault convictions, no prior convictions at all, Your Honor. He is unemployed, but he's seeking employment at the moment. This case is 5 years old. Understandably, that plaintiff witnesses, they haven't had problems since these allegations, Your Honor. I understand that in case that trial, a pre-trial, there was a $7,500 cash bond on him, Your Honor, but because he hasn't been in any trouble at all, which doesn't excuse him from not showing up to the pre-trial. Respectfully, Your Honor, I'd like to take into consideration that he hasn't had any trouble in between time. He has no prior criminal history, and this is a non-assault allegation. So we respectfully ask the court for a personal bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Ruff, as with those prior matters that we just handled and this matter, the reason that you're locked up, sir, is because you failed to come to court. It does not like you have not been pled or found guilty on these matters. You simply failed to appear. It's very important that you listen to the court so you don't get locked up just for not showing up to court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll make sure I'll be there.
Okay, Mr. Ruff. The court takes consideration the information provided by counsel, the serious nature of this allegation, which is non-assaultive, current epidemic facing the nation, the information provided by counsel and alleged investigators report. During this bond, Mr. Ruff, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Do not go back to the area or premises of 17174 Goddard, Detroit, Michigan, and absolutely no contact with Daniel Murdoch, which means no contact of any kind, orally, in writing, through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given the information provided by counsel, the current epidemic facing the nation, bond on this matter will be set $10,000 personal bond. Mr. Ruff, though you've demonstrated in the past you failed to appear, the court's giving you an opportunity to show up without posting bond. Listen to the court's order. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. And then Mr. Baldwin, please.
Baldwin.
And counsel, thank you for your patience. I appreciate you, sir. We just got the file.
No problem, Judge. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Your name, please?
Dante Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. Here for case number 200-59036, People State of Michigan versus Dante Jaquan Baldwin, counselor.
Good afternoon, Judge. Patrick Nineheis, P76343. On behalf of Mr. Baldwin, is present via Zoom. We consent to this being done via Zoom, and we'll ask to waive the formal reading and stand mute to the charges.
Thank you. For a waive formal reading of the information, enter a plea of not guilty, scheduling a probable cause conference August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Archer. Counsel, Mr. Baldwin, that will be held via Zoom. And counsel, you know how to attend. And Mr. Baldwin, that's your responsibility to attend that court hearing Zoom on time. Not guilty is entered as to the bond.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Baldwin is currently 20 years old. He has his own apartment in Westland, Michigan. He graduated from Oak Park High School, and he worked at BlackRock in a temporary service before the pandemic, and he was laid off from both those jobs. He just recently moved into the apartments called the Landings in Westland, Michigan, and I think he has no prior adult criminal history, so I'm asking for a personal bond in this matter.
Thank you. Mr. Baldwin, your counsel has advocated well on your behalf as always, and the court takes into consideration the information your attorney provided. This is a very serious, these are very serious allegations. The charge is a very serious allegation. The court takes into consideration the lack of criminal convictions or capious history, your employment status as stated by your attorney as it relates to ability to post bond, and the current epidemic facing the nation. During this bond, Mr. Baldwin, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're being released on a personal bond, Mr. Baldwin. Make sure and make your court hearing via Zoom as directed by court and your attorney. No weapons. Reason stated bond is $10,000 personal bond. Anything further, counselor?
No, Judge. Yeah, I just want to confirm, August 19th?
August the 19th, yes, in front of Judge Archer. Now will be heard via Zoom. And again, counsel, I appreciate the patience. Thank you. And good luck to you, counsel, and Mr. Baldwin.
Thank you. Stay safe, Judge.
Welcome. You too, thank you.
Officer Love, thank you very much.
Officer Love, yes, thank you. That's two thank yous he's gave you on the record today. Good afternoon, your name? Your name, please.
Avon
I apologize, one more time.
Avon Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. You're here for case number 200-59036, People State of Michigan versus Davon Lewis, identified in the complaint as defendant 2, counsel.
Yes, now, Brandon Bird on behalf of Davon Lewis, my client waives his right to the formal reading, understands his constitutional right to stand mute.
Court waive formal reading of the information and her plea of not guilty. Mr. Lewis, the court is scheduling a probable cause conference you must attend on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Archer. Mr. Lewis, that matter is going to be held via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not guilty is entered. Thank you. As the bond.
My client indicates that he's a 22-year-old lifetime resident of Michigan, Your Honor. He lives with his mother. 2 credits away from finishing high school. He also indicates, Your Honor, that he has no prior assault with criminal history. He's not on probation or parole, and he's employed at MUTCI factory, but unfortunately he's laid off with COVID, Your Honor. Understandably, that these are serious allegations, and he is in charge of the second habitual offender. These are non-assault allegations, Your Honor. We respectfully ask the court for a personal bond.
Thank you. These are very serious allegations, Mr. Lewis, felony allegations, but non-assaultive. You're a couple credits shy of a high school graduation, is that correct?
Yes.
And are you planning on going back and finishing up that education?
Yes. When I'm able to.
Are you? Okay. And good luck with that, Mr. Lewis. I hope that works out for you. The court highly recommends finishing that education. Mr. Lewis is a very serious charge. The court's unaware of any capious history or taking into consideration the epidemic facing the nation, employment status as stated by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond. During this bond, Mr. Lewis, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. No weapons, understand?
Yes.
Yes, given the information alleged investigators reported and provided by counsel, bond on this matter, given the serious nature but non-assaultive and the epidemic facing the nation, is set $12,000 personal bond. Good luck, Mr. Lewis. I hope it works out. You're being released on a personal bond. No weapons, and make sure and make that court hearing date via Zoom on August 19th. Is that all clear?
Yes.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was that all the mails?
Believe so, Your Honor.
You guys are great. Thank you for your assistance. We'll meet right on the female side. Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for getting them interviewed on time and best as possible. What's that? Who's the gentleman on there?
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Who's that gentleman on the left?
Did you guys start any particular order, Your Honor, or just, because there's only two?
The only two at your pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, in the mask, in the dark room, who are you? Hello? Mr. Gentleman in the mask, what's your name? Who are you? One more time before I remove you. You're being removed. I don't know who you are. Stand by. Did he go? Okay, thank you. He had the lights on, and it was all dark, but you could see his silhouette, he had his little mask on. He didn't say no. Good afternoon. That was strange. Your name, please.
Brittany Rumley.
Thank you, Miss Rumbly. Good afternoon, ma'am. Oh, you're here for case number 200452449, People State of Michigan versus Brittany Lekania Rumbly, also known as Brittany Rumbly, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Brittany Rumbly. My client waives the right to the formal reading, understands the constitutional rights, and will stand mute.
Court waive formal reading of the information in her plea of not guilty. We'll get to the court date in a moment as the bond.
As the bond, Your Honor, my client is a 26-year-old lifetime resident of Michigan, Your Honor. My client has a 6-year-old daughter that lives with her. She's the sole supporter of her daughter, Your Honor. My client isn't on probation or parole. She's currently unemployed right now, and she understands that she has to have contact with complaining witnesses. I understand that these are assaultive allegations, Your Honor, and after having an extensive conversation with my client, Your Honor, she's actually a small young lady that, where the complaining witnesses are the ones that attacked her. I understand that's something that will have to be worked out in trial or pre-trial, but I believe after vigorously defending her situation that she'll be able to be found not guilty of the case of be dismissed. And understandably that these are assaultive allegations, Your Honor. They are misdemeanors, and we respectfully ask this court for a personal bond.
And what was the reason that saying she had a small stature? What's the point of that?
Because it was a male and a female that actually attacked her, Your Honor.
Well, the allegations state that she was observed holding a pot outside the door and throwing a substance inside of the pot onto an individual that caused injury.
Your Honor, I understand that these are only allegations, Your Honor. And there is a discrepancy to me that it says that it was thrown at the door, but the individual was burned. There's actually no pictures or no proof of the burn that was sent to the police.
There are allegations. It says submitted pictures of the injuries.
Injuries to the young lady. It said the young male was born and burned in the report.
Thank you. These are very serious allegations, Ms. Rumbly, and they're assaultive allegations. It's very important you listen to the court, ma'am, and attend a Zoom hearing that's going to be scheduled August the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant. That matter, August the 19th, is going to be held via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. Ms. Rumbly, it's your responsibility to attend that hearing on time. You'll get information from the officers before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered. Anything further as to bond?
No, no.
Thank you, Counselor. They're very serious assaultive allegations. The court's unaware of any KPS history or criminal convictions or allegations of an assault in the past. You're unemployed as stated by counsel. The court takes into consideration as it relates to ability to post bond, as well as the current epidemic facing our nation and the very serious allegations alleged in investigators' report. Ms. Rumbly, during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and absolutely no contact with Ashley Williams and no contact with Derry or Hatcher Troy. To be clear, no contact, Ms. Rumbly, means no contact of any kind. No contact orally and writing through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact, understand?
Yes.
And you're going to be released on a personal bond, Ms. Rumbly, but given the allegations, the assaultive allegations stated, you would be fit with a GPS tether prior to release. For the reasons stated, bond will be set $7,000 personal bond. Good luck, Ms. Rumbly. Make sure and listen to the court. No contact and with Ms. Williams or Mr. Hatcher Troy, and make sure and make your hearing date. No weapons. Good luck.
You have to go to the county. You have to go to the county jail then.
I gotta go see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a seat.
I understand, my client does not have safety history, she understands no contact, she understands no contact with these individuals at all.
These are allegations of assault against more than one individual, and allegations not only were they assaulted, but they also allegedly caused injury. And given the information alleged in the investigator's report, that the information placed on the record and alleged gives the court concern regarding those individuals' safety. So the bond is set. It's a personal bond, and the court feels comfortable with the tether for the reasons stated. You're welcome. Thank you, counsel. Good afternoon. Your name, please.
Whitney John Chase.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You're here for case number 200452555, People State of Michigan versus Whitney Renea Gianchechi, also known as Whitney Gianchechi, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Frank Berger on behalf of Gianchechi. Do I pronounce your name right there?
State your name, your last name for us, please.
John Checky.
John Checky.
On behalf of Whitney Gianchechi. My client wishes to right from the reading and understands the constitutional rights of the CMU.
Court waive formal reading of the information in her plea of not guilty and schedule a pretrial date, ma'am, that you must attend on August the 19th, which is a Wednesday. 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant. That matter will be held via Zoom, which is an off-site streaming technology. You'll get information before you're released on how to connect, but that's your responsibility to connect on time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Not guilty is entered as to the bond, sir.
Your Honor, my client indicates that she's a 30-year-old lifetime resident, Your Honor. Also indicates that no prior criminal history, Your Honor. She does work at Henry Ford Hospital as a CNA. She's been on the front line for us, and she is a high school graduate. She is non-assault allegations, no serious, Your Honor. We respectfully ask this court to move personally.
Thank you, sir. This is a very serious allegation, ma'am, and it concerns the court regarding the individual's safety. It's regarding the allegations set forth in the investigator's report. Court takes into consideration a lack of criminal history or capious history, the current epidemic facing our nation, your employment status as stated by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond. During, as well as the information alleged in the investigator's report, during this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon, and you are not to go back to the area or location of 18485 Lindsay Street, Detroit, Michigan. Is that understood?
Yes.
And absolutely no contact with Casavaria Thomas, which means no contact of any kind, no contact orally in writing through a third person at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact with Casavaria Thomas. Is that clear?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I wasn't fighting with her. I was fighting with it was an allegation.
Excuse me. This is your attorney speaking now. Please don't speak on any facts of this case.
Sounds more like a statement, and your counsel is indicating, I believe, if you can hear him properly, that you're being recorded. Anything that you say could be used against you. And I believe, counsel, I apologize. Go forward. Is that anything else?
No.
I believe he's asking you to remain silent. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a question, ma'am, or are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. So, but we are clear, no contact with Miss Thomas or the location of 18485 Lindsay Street. That's understood, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and no weapons or firearms or any dangerous weapons. The court's inclined to release you on a personal bond. You have no issues with following all those court orders, correct?
Right.
For the reasons stated, current epidemic facing the nation, Bond will be set $10,000 personal bond. Make sure you have that Zoom hearing Wednesday, August the 19th. Listen to all the court's orders so you don't get locked up just for not listening. Good luck, Miss Gianventi.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Officer, do we have any males or females at 48 hours that can't wait till tomorrow?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Not at this time. Thank you. I appreciate all your help all afternoon. Have a nice evening.
You too, Your Honor. Take care. Be safe.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I was trying to save my 6-month-old.